let's start. Let others join while they're joining. So we'll quick start a round of introduction. So okay, so let me start from myself. So so who am I? Okay, I'm one of the Azure trainer with 16 plus years of experience in corporate. So I've been working from last 16 years on IT. It's combining the experience with Apple Visa cards and Experian, the Snowflake, and other startup companies as well, right? So in my whole time duration, I have been working on different tech stacks, different areas, and it's in the designing the product, architecting the product, and providing the solution to different lots of external customers as well as the internal resources, right? So so this is my journey. Throughout my journey, I saw lots of up and downs, and lots of the products where we have to really implement the insights and implement the critical portion of the product where we need to go through different kind of scaling issues, and making it better, applying all these in the cloud system. So I have been working on a different cloud, multi-cloud itself. I have been working on AWS cloud, Azure cloud, and some of the time on the Google Cloud as well. However, I'm mostly focusing on the AWS cloud as well as the Azure cloud, right? So, and Snowflake is one of the data cloud where we use use that cloud infrastructure or the cloud SaaS for day-to-day data storage and data manipulation and data warehouse, all these things, right? So yeah, we are not going deeper into that, but I'm just trying to touch upon those areas, like what are the things I know I have been working on. And from last 5 years, I have been working with SoftShape to make the training better and building the whole Azure community. So we completed our last batch uh, in mid of November, and then we try to revamp and restructure the curriculum to make keeping things in mind, like okay, how the students, whoever is taking the course, can really put those things together and really build a sourcing product, and also able to effortlessly able to you know uh, uh, able to certify their certifications if they're trying to attend those certifications, right? So that's where the whole thing, I mean, keeping in mind, we designed the whole curriculum. Okay, so yeah, of course, I mean, we'll talk more and more and in depth, but before that, I'm just wondering about you guys, and what about you, where you are coming from, and what exactly you are looking for from this course, so that I'll try to keep those things in mind. And what are the things from this particular session, I mean, you are looking for? That is also one of the thing, I mean, we would want to know. So I would start from one, maybe Amita, you want to start, like, just introduce yourself, like where are you coming from, and what or what years of experience you have, or if you have already experience in Microsoft Azure, or have you ever get a chance working on those areas. Okay, so Amita will be maybe she will be completely mute. And who next? Anyone? Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alekia.
Alekia. Yeah. So have you no any experience on Azure, or it's the first time you are trying to attend the
No, no, yeah,
team?
first time, no experience.
Okay, I see. Okay. So I'll walk all you through the what exactly the Azure is and how it will have. And yeah, before that, I just want to talk to Chandrasekhar. Okay. Next, Sumant, you want to introduce yourself,
Yeah.
please?
Um, Hi, Sudhir. Can you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you properly.
Yeah. So I have 4 years of experience in Microsoft Dynamics 365. I
Fantastic.
used to work for different domains like healthcare, banking, and higher education as well. So
Mm-hmm.
currently, I'm in UK. I just finished my masters in business analytics. But there are multiple concepts came up in Dynamics as well, like Copilot,
Yep.
and
Yep.
a lot of things has been changed. Now I'm not sure like which way I need to go through now. Like I was trying to apply for jobs, but I'm not getting the calls. I was specifically focused on Power Platform and uh, sales and service modules, but I'm not sure about the finance modules. So I'm in the dilemma. I'm not sure which side I need to shift back. So that is the reason I want to attend this meeting.
Totally, totally. I mean, that totally makes sense. And exactly with same set of questions. Uh, my last batch has a couple of people from UK, right? And a couple of people from Canada, and of course, always, as always, I mean, a lot of people from India itself. So these are the very, very genuine questions, and everyone has this question and looking into the current job market, right? It's really tough to getting a job on a tech stack where everyone knows, right? Then what is your specialty, right? You have to stand out. You have to stand out when you are preparing your resume, or going in front of any recruiter. So you have to have a solid tech stack or solid specialty to showcase that, okay, this is what I have the expertise and experiences, so I can put those things in place along with the other tech stacks, right? So that's where, so now the era is cloud era, right? So cloud everywhere, cloud, no one is dealing with their own servers, own system, right? So now everyone is hopping into cloud. Now when we talk about dynamics, right, 365 and power
Mhm.
platform, of course it has its own own strength, right? But it's becoming a silo, right? Silo when it comparing to the other tech stacks coming into the market in a fast pace, right? So
Yeah.
now Microsoft is coming up with it was already came up with Copilot yearly this year. Now it's
Yeah.
completely AI-fying the whole infrastructure, right? Now every
Yeah.
service has its AI enable, every capability has AI enable. Now just think, like, whenever you are dealing with same JavaScript core things along with your dynamics, then that really that that doesn't take you somewhere, but that has its own own fundamental and own strength, right? There are
Mhm.
very limited, maybe organizations or corporations, they really work on those areas. But if you go into a uh, uh, worldwide, it's there are 70 to 80% of companies, they run on cloud, right? So in
Yeah.
that case, everyone has to make them aware about what exactly the cloud is, and how you can leverage those areas, keeping other tech stacks in mind and having other tech stacks also with you. right? So so when we talk about the cloud, right? So it doesn't matter if you are a dynamics expert, power platform expert, or what kind of tool expert you are. When it comes to the cloud, there are only very limited cloud providers, right? So we'll
Mhm.
talk about that. So we need to understand their whole cloud maybe infrastructure or how it works at least, right?
Mhm.
Then we can always cope up with other compete with other candidates, and as well as we can able to sell ourselves, right? Whenever needed, right? So now think of, so this is AI era, I would say, right? AI and machine
Mhm.
learning era. So AI, if we don't know AI, probably you don't have a job. It's kind of
Mhm.
that, right? If you go into any job description, right? Any job description, you will find at least a, a requirement, at least one requirement, the candidate should have, exposure to AI or machine
Yeah.
learning. Just find any, just blindly go to any job requirement and just pick it up. And you find every job has one requirement, at least one requirement, the candidate should have exposure to AI or must have, work on AI environment, right? It's kind of that. So now literally the whole thing's getting shifted towards the AI era, right? So getting into AI, there are some of the things we need to know. See, AI is built on top of something, right? Which
Mhm.
already is a fundamental, right? So that fundamental we need to understand so that we can easily capture the AI also, right? So parallelly, I am also planning for a very concise, course of study, and one another course which will accompany with this particular, course, that will help to completely streamline your job career, right? In the sense, starting from your core dynamics or any other our candidates has, some Java expertise or Python expertise or some scripting expertise, right? Some other languages, along with some other tech stacks, right? Maybe some might already working on big data or something like that. So in that case, what will happen? This particular cloud knowledge will act as a base base for that particular fundamental thing, right? Now when we'll come up with the AI module, that AI module will be one of the ice on the cake, right? That
Yeah.
means whatever the it doesn't matter whatever the requirement it's asking in the job description, everywhere your tick mark is, right? Now whenever it's asking for, okay, you must have work on Azure, even if you are a expert in Power Platform or Power BI or any other yeah, someone.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining. So I do have a couple of questions over here. So I've been
Yeah,
work in the.
we'll talk about that and question answers at the end, wherever we have. So we'll start with those, or any other, that's why I wanted to understand like where we are coming from and what we are expecting from the session itself, right? So that will always helpful for trainer and also other candidates in our course. Everyone can share their thoughts like, okay, where we are going, because this is the timing where job market is super, it's tight, right? It's ideally
Mhm.
tight. So now whenever and wherever we need to power up ourselves with new tech stacks. It's You don't have to be a master, but you have to have fundamentals, right? So that you can really explain and you can uh, crack those interviews at least, right? So those are the things. So yeah, and thank you so much all of your introduction. And I think Anil joined just now. Anil, you want to just introduce yourself quickly, and then we'll hop into our regular workshop.
Yeah, hi sir, and hi all. Good morning. My name is Anil Ajare. Right now, I am located in Bangalore, and I am working on Dynamics 365 CRM as a functional consultant. So, to enhance the career things, just I'm looking on a few courses. So then I come across with this Azure. So I thought to join.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, good, good. I mean, whatever take, you know, take your next, career path, definitely these things will, it doesn't matter Azure, doesn't matter AWS, all the cloud providers are really booming, and most of the companies are on those clouds, right? And that will definitely definitely helpful. But especially this one, what exactly, I mean, we are trying to make the whole course, this particular course, more successful is, first thing first, the interactive class. We always keep the whole class interactive, so that whenever needed, the students should have some questions. And of course, if this is a new platform, everyone has questions, right? I want to interact with them and try to understand their perspective, and also want to answer those, right? So that from foundation itself, the all those your fundamental questions will be clear out, right? Then when we get into the actual core things, then those fundamental will work out there, right? And of course, we are also trying to make sure, like, okay, we are having a Q&A session with live polling in the sense, like, it's kind of optional, I'd say multiple option questions. You can select it, okay, what is the answer, you can select it, so that I can able to guess, like, okay, how many of you really understanding those things, and how many of you, you know uh, how many of you understanding something, and you are in a gray area, some of the areas you are not able to understand, right? So that I can explain those areas a little bit more, right? So that is another thing. And the study materials, another thing is, like, whenever we are taking any class, or for every session, will have recording. Okay, so that will be delivered directly to the candidate, right? So anytime, even if they miss any class, or even if they miss any part of that particular session, it might be possible, right? You are working as a full-time engineer, and you might got some work, or got a call from your manager, and you have to drop off for 10 minutes. Then you are missing that. Now, in this case, you are not missing it out, right? We are always giving the every day, the recording will be provided to, the raw recording will be provided to the student, right? So that they can take that in their own pace, right? And it's not mandatory at all. You can attend it, you cannot attend. But the point is, like, if you'll attend, then, I mean, we can talk those question answers in live, right? If you go with the recording, that is also fine. You go with the recording, make sure every day you are going through the recording. And if you have any question, I am open to answer those the next day, right? So those are the things we are having a practice to make sure, like, our course is successful, right? And interview preparation. So the one of the most important area is, like, when our students are really completing the course, so they always be with us. Okay, as a community, we always share our thoughts. And if whenever we find any job posting, or we find, okay, there are some requirements, we always ask our students, are anyone available for that, to take that opportunity, right? And alongside, we also help for the certification side of the house, right? If you want to be certified, make sure you are well prepared. But still, end of the day, if you are, I mean, if you are unsuccessful, let us know. We'll try our level best to make sure, like, you are getting certified, right? So because the course of study you have prepared such a way, like, I mean, there is no way you'll fail, right? So that's where we have designed the course of study. Then of course career consulting, as you say, like as you have asked, Sumant asked, like, so he was talking about his background, where it's coming from, and it's one of the example, like if anytime you need career consulting, okay, what should what should I do next, or where, how I should take my career path, it's completely open forum, right? So you come to me one to one, or come to Sanjay one to one. I mean, we are always there to suggest you where to go and how to take how to take the next step in the career, right? Career path, at least for the cloud side of the house. Even as for my experience from last 16 plus of years of experience, I saw lots of things in my IT career. So I I experience those things, and I can suggest a lot of things from my experience itself, right? So it's not theoretical. It's all from my experience, what I'm trying to trying to talk about, and whatever I'm suggesting, even I'll suggest in future, that will be all experience based, right? So that's where I'm coming from, and that course is meant for, right? So I'm I'm also wanted to clear about this curriculum is, you'll find some of the curriculum from online, and some of the curriculum from Microsoft online, right? But here the course of study I have prepared is keeping those practical things in mind, and I combine 900 AG 900 certification and AG 204 certification in one. Okay. Now in only one course will suffice to pass both of the certification course, right? That's where I can guarantee you, right? So that's how we have designed. So if you take this course in different different time, AG 900 in different course and AG 200 204 different, then it might costly for you, right? And also it's time taking, right? It's time taking. No one has that much time to go through, like you will hold 3 months for completing some of the courses, right? No, we don't have time. And looking into current job market and all these things in career progress, everyone need in a fast pace, fast pace uh, course of study, and course completion, right? And also certification. Let me know, like if you want to certify, I'm always there to help you. Okay. But yeah, definitely for that we have to have complete the course, because you need those knowledge to attend those certifications, right? But I'm always there to help you to make sure, like, we are always getting certified for your next job career, or if anytime you are trying to switch your career to cloud system from the on-prem system, right? So here there are, here there is no barring of any specific experience, any kind of profession, any people from any profession can take this course, okay? Because it starts from fundamental till the developer's role. At the end of this course, you should able to independently develop and deploy your own application, right? Okay, so that's where our goal is, right? So this is what the course for those people, right? And yeah, definitely when we are talking about this cloud and all these things, let's talk about what exactly the Azure is, and that's why we are gathered here to understand about the on Azure, what exactly the Azure is, and what about the cloud is, right? So what exactly the cloud is? So cloud is mostly no. So let me walk you through quickly in my I'll just quickly grab my I'll just put a pen. So management active. Okay. Try it. Oh. I'll go to the
I think you can reshare, sir.
yeah, I'm just, oh, it's not getting shared or
We can see that Azure Kit start slide
yeah.
only.
I'm just, coming from another window, so I'll just get it. Yeah. So I'm just checking like this guy is working here. Perfect. Okay. So able to see my screen, right? The whiteboard.
Yep, we can able to see that.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Yes. So I'm trying to explain, I mean, I really don't like much on the PPT side of the house. I always go with the whiteboards and, and even my day-to-day work also, I mostly use the whiteboard. So that's why. So, okay. So what exactly the cloud is? So now think of like, okay, now think of like you have some work and you are doing on your own computer, right? Something you are doing. So whenever you are doing your computer, what exactly you are doing? Ideally, what you are doing, all of your work is going to this particular hard disk. So you are going to purchase this computer, okay, and you have to identify what configuration I should purchase, and if I'll take this lower version, lower configuration of the RAM or memory, it might slow down my work, all these things, right? It's very usual, fundamentally you always think of like, okay, no, I shouldn't go with this, rather I'll go with the higher version of or higher capacity memory, right? So when you're going to higher configuration, your price is going up, right? Price is going up, and you are going to hold this computer or the system for longer period of time, even though you, let's for example, you got this computer in 2024. In 2025, you got another new model of this particular computer or laptop, and you got lots of new features with same price but new features. Same thing happens in mobile phones as well, right? Just think of like any Apple laptop, right? For example, Apple laptop or any other laptops, right? In that case, what happens? Like you purchase that, you pay hard cash money, right? And then you purchase that and you hold it. Then when next year it comes a new version of the product, you okay, you don't know like what to do with the existing one. You want to purchase the new one, but what to do with this particular computer, right? You cannot just, you want to sell it in a secondary market, you can always do that, but it's a liability for you, right? Liability for you, spend a lot of money on that, and then you are going to a new version of that, and all these things happens, right? So now, and the second thing, what happens, let's for example you purchase this one and you're trying to do some work here, and your hard disk, of course you are saving all your work in your hard disk, right? So what happens if in one fine morning the whole hard disk corrupted? All your 1 year or whatever the year of work, it's gone, right? It's gone. I mean, you're completely blank. What to do? So now, with what are the things it's happening? And second thing, what to do with the what to do with other maintenance? For example, today the keyboard broken, or the memory corrupted, right? Or your the screen damage, right? So for that you are paying. So first thing is like purchase, okay, Second one is like, second one is like data loss. Data loss. Third thing is maintenance, right? Maintenance. And the fourth thing is like networking. Network in the sense like, okay, you want to, you are building some of the things, or let's, for example, let me talk about you are one of the CEO, right? Or CTO of one of the company. So what you're going to do, you're going to, purchase not only one, you have to purchase maybe more than one computer for your workers as well, or for your engineers as well, right? So in that case, what you have to do to make it whole thing work together, you have to network between those two, no, those other computers, right? Other computers. So to make it, no, a network configuration, you have to have network server. Okay, and you have to purchase that as well. So all these things, right, you have to take care of your own, right? And that too, there is a high chances of losing the data, losing your most valuable, most valuable things you are, that's available in the computer, right? So now the thing is like, then the concept, the concept came into picture, right? What if all these things will go to a central hub? For example, you can say the cloud is, you can say the cloud is like this, right? So whatever you are working here, what if every time I'll take a backup of that into my cloud, right? So if you are using, when you're using your phone and taking picture, if you are using, iCloud, if you Apple phone, or if you're using an Android phone has its Apple Store, Play Store, right? Or Google Store, Dropbox, right? So those are the things, are the cloud storage, right? What they are doing, where exactly that is exist? That's exist in the, if it's Apple, it's in the Apple data center, right? If it's a, Android phone, it might be available in Microsoft, cloud, the Azure cloud, or it might be in Google cloud, right? Or Amazon cloud, AWS cloud. So that's where cloud come into picture, right? First thing is like your data can be, can be back off. Second thing, the purchase, right? Your data is solved. Now, how to solve this purchase issue? Now there is a concept called provisioning, right? So you can purchase infrastructure from your cloud system, cloud provider. Okay, what are the cloud providers? AWS, Amazon, that is Azure, the Azure from Microsoft, and Google Cloud from Google, right? Google Cloud. And these clouds are, bigger providers, right? Bigger cloud providers. But along with that, there are some other cloud providers also, the IBM, right? Alibaba, Alibaba, and other, there are other clouds, but these cloud providers are more, took more market share, in the sense like, if let's, for example, the cloud market itself is uh, uh, let's, for example, 10 trillion market, the market share. So AWS might have taken, 32%, Azure took 25%, Google took maybe 10%, because AWS is always a, biggest cloud provider, right? And Azure is the second cloud provider. But now, in the pace how Azure is evolving, right? Microsoft itself is evolving the cloud entity, right? So, it's, in no time, the Azure will be one of the, top provider, cloud provider in the whole world, right? So that's why we will talk about that. I'll show you how really the Azure, Microsoft Azure is growing, comparing to other, clouds, right? So those are things. So now how we are going to, solve this purchase issue. So cloud has a infrastructure, okay, infrastructure thing where you can always purchase one of a computer, right, resource from cloud. And okay, you want to use that a computer for 1 hour, get it. Okay, purchase for 1 hour, do your work, finish it, and just give it back to cloud. Now you are only paying for 1 hour no work. You are not holding the whole computer for lifetime, right? So this is one of the thing. Then how about the maintenance? Now, whenever we are talking about the cloud, cloud has more provisioning, like there are platform as a service, right? Or the all the services available in the cloud, you can leverage those. It's kind of okay. You are getting for rent, right? You are renting something. If you are renting something, or let's for example, you are renting a home, right? And you are going and staying there. If something broken, who is taking care of that? Of course, the owner, right? Owner. If as long as you didn't, clear that mess, then till the point, the owner has to pay for that, right? And owner has to do all this maintenance stuff for that home, rented home, because you are not owning that. You are just renting. I'm just, living in the home and I'm paying for that. That's all. I don't have to take care anything else, right? So that's why the owner is here. The owner is the cloud provider. That cloud providers are, providing those things, right? And you are just using those. Next, next thing is like now this is solved. Now we'll talk more about that, okay, when we'll get into the actual course. I mean, course study. I'll get into more bit and pieces, like you'll really understand those, how, what exactly those is. But I'm, giving you more insights, like how exactly the cloud is in a layman space. If you want to go to the grandma and you'll tell like what you'll ask what exactly the cloud is, I can, able to I should able to tell what is the cloud without any technical jargons, right, or terminologies, right? So that's where we want to understand the cloud is, right? And the maintenance is done. It's taking care of like a owner is taking care of those, any blunder happens on the particular cloud space, right? Whatever you are purchasing from the cloud or any services, anything. And what about the networking? How we are solving the networking on the over there, right? So in that case, what it's happening is like networking is also one of the managed service. You are just trying to subscribe that and just use that. If you don't want it, just end your subscribe. Just delete that particular resource and you are off the hook, right? So this is, I mean, in simple term, this is the cloud. How cloud really provides the benefit to the user. So now, whenever we are talking about this cloud, now think of, with all these benefits, why not any company or any startup would come to this any of the cloud provider? Obviously, right? They don't want to purchase, or they don't want to spend a lot of money on resources or any services. Rather, they can just go pay as you go, right? They'll use whatever they will use, they will pay for that. So now, in whole world, there are 90% of the companies available in the world. 90% are in the cloud system. Now, whenever we are learning about the cloud and understanding the cloud and getting the cloud, tech stack in our resume, now think we are ready to, now our, applying for a job is not limited, right? Now, if I was able to apply only the companies whoever using Power BI, right? Now, once I am completing this Azure development course, then I am open to other companies. Let's, for example, 10% of the companies are only looking for Power BI or Dynamics or only Java, only Python, okay, or only Salesforce, right? Because those are managed systems. I mean, if 10% of the corporate companies are using those, what about other 90s? Even other 90s, just think of if other 90% of the companies are on cloud, then everyone looking for a cloud engineer, right? It's as simple as that. Under this 90% also, there are some divided, cloud developer, cloud administrator, you know, cloud DB developer, those kind of job requirements you'll find. But of course you will always from 10% you will expand your job finding to another 30 to 40%. That means if today you are only able to apply for 10 jobs, after this course you'll able to apply 40 jobs. Ideally, if analogically I will tell that, that's how you will benefited out there when you are adding a cloud, cloud tech stacks in your resume, right? So it doesn't matter, it's only Azure. Go with AWS, go with Google Cloud, go with IBM Cloud, anywhere you go, right? What my fundamental, ask is go for any cloud course and take it. I mean, add well was that, make sure you are able to do you independently, and then you are good to go. Just ask us how to, if you are still with us, okay, we'll also able to, make sure like your resume, how you construct your resume, how you, make sure like whenever you are applying any job, how you curate your resume things and all, right? So as you said in our starting of the our session, we are always here to help you in different ways. And Sanjay is proactively looking for our whole community. Like if whoever the students we have, are they, their success in their further career, right? That's where our main goal is. It's not just a course, or we are not just a training training organization. Rather, we are dealing as a community, right? If when we are dealing with a community, you always open to work with any open requirement we have, you know because the community is getting a lot better and better, okay? And Sanjay is really making sure like the whole thing, and whoever is attached to came to the subship organization. So they are completely proof from the training and the assistant side of the house, right? So that's where we trying to make sure like we are there, and all our students are satisfied on that side of the house, right? And yes, so as I'm saying, like this is how the cloud will no taking a course, or getting into those cloud areas will help you in your future career path. Or you can always change your career as well, right? If I am only working on very specific tech stacks, I'm always expanding that, adding new stacks to my resume, right? Expand. So now you are taking the course of Azure development, right? Azure developers, how can you develop independently a production level application, right? And how can you manage it? And in our next goal is we are trying to put AI, Azure AI in place. So that will add another level of expansion to the resume, whoever is the student taking that course. Okay. Now, another thing we are also planning, we are keep talking, Sanjay and me, we are keep talking about those, like how we can, make sure like whoever the students taking the course, they have a complete package, right? Complete package, and they can, expand their career in any direction. So that's what it is. So that comes with the DevOps, right? So there are different areas. Whenever you are going into the engineering and development side of the house, there are developers, DevOps, okay, then admin, one of the subset of DevOps also, you can say that. And for all of these, AI is enabled in Azure. If you find a time, go to the Google or internet browser and search for the latest AI, keynotes, right, from Microsoft. You will just amaze like how Microsoft Azure made the whole platform so elegant, like it will literally make your work literally very less. What is the only thing you need to understand is like how you can use the AI, how you can make it the prompt engineering more affordable, or not more affordable, more more and more easy to make the AI work. See, the point is like, like you have a computer, right? You have everyone has a keyboard, everyone has a computer, everyone has a mouse, right? Now, if you think, the smart people, what they do, they configure their shortcut keys. Okay, because that's where it will help to speed up your development, right? So that is where it no, talks about the prompt engineering, right? You can make your like how easily you can guide AI to develop a application. So that is secondary story altogether. So why I'm coming here is like, when you are going into a particular tech stack, you can go with Azure, you can go with AWS, you can go with Google. But when you go with Azure, if you are learning Azure developers, why not you are it's good to go with the Azure DevOps, right? Next, instead of going DevOps for AWS, you can go with DevOps for Azure. And when you are going with whole package from the Azure, it's good to go with the Azure AI, right? That means the whole package you have. Wherever you go, now you are good to apply for any kind of job. If I'll open any job right away, I'll show you every job has a AI AI requirement, DevOps requirement. Even if they will not asking for DevOps, there are some of the things like Terraform. Do we have Ansible? Do we have GitHub? Do you know Jenkins? Okay. Do we have all these techniques? No, right? So it's not. See, France didn't build in one day. So that's what it is. You have to take your path and go gradually. So that's where I'm trying to make you understand, like wherever you are coming from, it doesn't matter. Cloud is completely a different animal altogether. Okay, the more you'll get into, the more you'll understand the whole corporate product, right? So that's where I'm trying to make you understand, right? So now, if we go little bit further with this, what are the things actually? I mean, it comes under this cloud system, right? In the cloud system, it comes what exactly the Azure, and how the Azure Foundation helps the whole whole ecosystem, right? And we'll talk about Azure introduction. We'll talk about the procurement option. This procurement is nothing but the you are purchasing one computer from cloud instead of purchasing yourself, right? So that's where the procurement, and there are lots of options as well. There are some options for only companies, right? Company can pay for that. But for individuals, if you want to build one copilot, for example, you want to build a chatbot, right? You don't have to pay a lot. You just procure some of the, very much required resources, and you go for that. Then there are some of the things in the Azure administration as well. But in this dev course, we are touching the basics of that, right? Administration has its own course altogether that comes under DevOps, right? Infrastructure administration that comes under DevOps. Identity is overall. Identity always comes in the development, developers for developers as well as the administrators, right? Data services. What are the data services? If you think of data services, Power BI is also come under data services, because Power BI and Power Platform, those are always works on the data side of the house. Accordingly, a new service came from Microsoft Azure, that's called Fabric, right? the Azure Fabric. So that Fabric is now new, data store. You can say data lake or lake house that comes from the data engineering side of the house. But we'll toss up. I mean, when you get into this course, you'll toss upon those areas. So that whenever you'll try to specialize of in your any of the specific area, then you understand more from the core side of the house, right? We'll talk about PaaS scenario, platform as a service. PaaS is nothing but platform as a service, right? And also it comes with okay. So and we have another called IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Okay, PaaS, IaaS, and SaaS, software as a service. We'll talk about more about that, and we'll talk little bit, touch upon a little bit more DevOps part inside of the house, not fully DevOps. We'll talk about the deployment. Okay, so those are the things comes on the way. But I'm talking about the Azure in as a whole, right? So when it comes to the Azure platform, what are the things, I mean, you are getting from Azure itself, right? You are always getting the transform your service. If you want to write a uh, write code, see, code is also not required. If you are trying to build an application, how you can, that application might be only only applicable for a couple of people, but how you can make it for 100 peoples, 1,000 peoples, right? Or million of people. Just think of the WhatsApp, how WhatsApp built, that built on cloud only, right? How millions of people are able to use, and you are able to get that text immediately. Whenever anyone, your friend is texting, how come immediately you are getting that message? Have you ever thought about that, right? And you are not only the one person using WhatsApp. There are millions of users using WhatsApp at the same time. And think of like in new year time, whenever it's new year, 12 o'clock night, everyone's trying to text each other. Okay, if you are trying to call someone, you will not able to reach out. But if you are text someone, they will able to get the text, your message, right? WhatsApp message. How come? How fast it's able to, people are able to receive and send those messages? It's just one of the example, the product available in the build on cloud, right? Facebook also build those things, that Instagram, that WhatsApp, Facebook. Those are things, those are the applications. And where those are built? Do you think those are built in one of the computer? No, not at all. So those are built on a cloud ecosystem, right? And whenever they need, they can add more computer to that. Whenever they need, they can always trim down those computers, because it's right. If you think in US zone, right? Do you think in the night time people are using the all the people are using Instagram or WhatsApp? No. So in that time, what they will do? They will trim some of the computer from that network, because there is no load. So if there is load, you will add more computer. Exactly same thing in your company, in your team. What exactly happening? There is a work, okay, you have to complete in 1 week, but you only have two resource. What your manager do? The managers usually do is like they will try to hire more people, or try to bring some other people from other team and try to complete the same work. It's kind of that, right? When we need more work, we need more people. Exactly same thing. If more people are using the application, you need more computer, more memory, more disk, all these things, right? So it's kind of like whenever you are coming to the cloud, you have lots of leverage. You can really deal with the, if you want, no, I'm getting out of money, so I cannot use lots of resources. I only use very less or required resources. You are good to go, right? You don't have to spend a lot. So it's kind of those things, how the cloud is really giving the helping the whole organization, right? And optimize your operation, right? So when it comes to optimize the operations, like the maintenance, right? The maintenance, you don't have to maintain the thing again and again, the same thing. There are some automated script you can write, and automated services you can write. It's automatically do your work. Okay, if something failed, you don't have to go and fix it. There you can write one time, automatically it will fix it. Or the cloud provider itself is giving lot of automation tool which will automatically fix your issue and try to make it as it was earlier, right? So that's how it helps. Empower your employees in the sense like if there is an organization using cloud, so how they're empowering that? Because they don't have to, wherever the employee go, doesn't matter. It's sitting in UK, US, India, Britain, wherever, right? If that guy doesn't have also any computer also, they can easily able to work, right? Now in COVID, everyone working from home, right? But was there any impact? No, because everyone able to, everything is in cloud. Now just log into that cloud and do your work, whatever the work you have assigned, you can able to complete that, right? And engage your customer and partners. It's as simple as that. So whenever things are in cloud, everyone able to get access, and you can always able to do your work very easily, right? And you can, the while customer is already using the product, you can able to enhance those product in parallel, right? And you can always release those, right? Those things comes into picture when it comes to the cloud system, right? So how Microsoft Azure is evolving itself, right? It's really trusted by, 70 or 90% of the, 90% of the organizations, right? And it's always open and hybrid. There are a lot of services free coming as a free from Microsoft, okay, Microsoft Azure. So you can use those free services. If you want, you can always leverage the, paid version, but you have to go with, pay as you go, right? Pay as you go. We'll learn about like how log into the system and all. And then there are productive innovation, right? The innovation is Microsoft is always on top of that, right? My innovation. So looking into the AI innovation, I mean, no one can beat Microsoft. I mean, because again, Microsoft is again, tie up with OpenAI. Then those they are able to leverage those things, on the AI side of the house and data-driven intelligence, right? So whenever your application is failing in your computer and you are not in cloud, you are trying to debug like why it's failing, why this alert is coming, and why it's not able to do the work. But when it comes to the cloud has a lot of monitoring system, and whatever you are doing and whenever you are doing, you are able to always get those insights, right? And easily fix those issues wherever required, right? And whoever is working on the power platform side of the house as well, and there are always monitoring systems, right? Even though there are less code or no code, still there are some of the things might go wrong, right? How do you know like what exactly what issue exactly going on, right? So those are the insights. It can help in long run and immediately fix the issue or resolve the customer blockage. Now, why we are thinking like okay, the Azure is why I would opt for Azure is it has its own reasoning in the sense like Azure cloud is available. I mean all over world, right? The data centers, so that if I am here, I can use the data center available in US. If people are in India, they can use the India region data center. So all the data centers, there are 60 plus regions, right? All over the world. That means it's not like, okay, Azure, I mean, Microsoft is only in California and all the data is coming to the California. No, that's not the case, because whenever we are talking about data center, it data getting stored as well as the services getting deployed, right? The same thing, what happens is like similar kind of data centers are available, I mean across the world, okay? So for every region, so like that there are 60 plus regions where Azure no, Microsoft Azure data center is available. Now all are interconnected with the networking. The connections are happening under the sea, under the water, okay? So that's how they are connected each other, okay? All the cloud systems, right? So now if you think, like how Microsoft Azure is getting evolved, right? There are 194 billion external requests made to Azure App Services. Now think of like how many companies and how many users are using Azure App Services, right? There are lots of app services. We'll talk about that in a minute. So and there are 340 billion Azure SQL query request process per day. Per day, 340 billion means just think of if one company is executing 1 million also, there are 340 billion of requests, right? So that's how it's going. And similarly 750 million Azure Active Directory users, right? 750 million users itself, right? And they are frequently using, and 188 billion hits to the website run on Azure Web App Services. Why I am showing this particular figure is like how fast the Azure is growing, and if we are taking acquiring some knowledge on Azure Cloud, how it will help in our near future as well as the long run as well, right? See, 90% any Fortune 500 companies in whole world, more than 90% of those companies are using Microsoft Cloud, Azure Cloud. That means just think of like if you have a Azure Cloud in your resume, how much you are going to exposure to those different kind of job profiles, and as well as different kind of high profile Fortune 500 companies. You are exposure to that, right? So that's how the Azure is evolving, right? So when we are talking about the different services, see, there are different services with category. We can look into like what are the different from the security and management side of the house. There are already some of the applications already available. You don't have to develop these. You develop your own application, but you can leverage these things to make your application secure, right? And there are some CDNs. For example, you are trying to create one application like YouTube, right? So how can you make it? YouTube deals with CDN and all, right? So you can use those media, or you are starting a news channel. So how can you do that? You can use these features, these services to build your own news or media system or channel or whatever podcast or something if you want to build your own, right? So integrations essentially how, I mean, there are some applications, services available where you can easily integrate Azure with Power BI, Power Platform, your Dynamics 365, whatever, or Salesforce, or any other providers or any other cloud. Okay, cloud means you have some data in Azure cloud and you have some data also in Amazon cloud. There are also API managements, and you can easily talk between two clouds, multi-cloud, right? And you have one company and your company's product is being used by some other company. How you are going to dealing with the company's data, right? So these are the integration, services. It comes in picture, right? Then the compute services where exactly, see, the scaling. We'll talk about scale and all. How you can add more computer to your system and remove computers from your system. That's called scaling. See, whenever you need, you only get one computer, and if you need, you can add more computer to your system so that to make it more performant, load balance. So those are the things. And here application platform, what are the applications? With no time, in no time you can able to deploy one, develop one web application and deploy it, right? So that's how, I mean, you can do it. And you can really develop and manage your REST APIs. You must have heard about REST APIs, right? So, and the clouds, different cloud services, the functions, we'll talk about functions, how the function works, right? And those services you can develop with no time, right? No time. Once you're able to learn those, then you can develop those things in no time, right? How that's how it's easy to develop things, right? Because these are the providers, it's managed services. You are just, as I said, like you are going to, going to, rent one home. You are just going, enjoying in that home. You don't have to take care of any maintenance. So that's how it is. I mean, and that's how it is, right? You can able to leverage all these services available. Data. Data is one of the thing where it comes, all those data storage comes under this particular area, right? So this will work on some of the areas here, but if this section is mostly, aligned towards data engineering side of the house. But okay, wherever you go, data is required, right? While you are developing one website, you are storing some data, right? For example, you are developing one sales website. So in that case, you are storing some product images, storing some data related to the product, all these things, right? You are going to store here. So so wherever you go, data is there. This area is, of course, you have to use. You cannot skip, but yeah, you have to choose which one you are going to use. There are lots of options. Every service has its own pros and cons, right? You have to choose sparingly, so that you are paying less and you are getting more and more out of that, right? Intelligence. So intelligence, it's all about AI, right? And these two areas are comes under AI. Okay. If I, get, get time, I'll definitely touch upon a little bit. I mean, for the sake of, complementary for you at the end of the course, right? But this is not exactly coming under this, but yeah, cognitive service, will talk about cognitive service, how you can create chatbot, those things. I mean, on the high level, but these are the related to completely AI side of the house. But this particular whole platform is being, elevated with AI in a greater way, right? So that's where infrastructure as a service, right? We talk about like IaaS, right? So it's a compute, storage, network. If you want only compute, only memory, virtual machine side of the house, just use this. You don't have to use these two, right? If you want to use only storage, want to store data only, like I said, like whenever you are storing, taking pictures and storing your photos, so you are only using, Azure Cloud's storage, blob storage, right? Or file storage. You don't have to use any networking, any compute, nothing. Go whatever you want. Okay, you don't have to go everything for everything, right? So that's how it is, right? So these are the, services and benefits you're getting. Then from this is, I categorize like the infrastructure. On top of infrastructure, there are trusted things comes into picture, and there are some other, services being, exposed, where you can always communicate with other clouds, communicate with other providers, and also different kind of applications you can build on top of that, right? So Microsoft Azure has multiple areas, right? It all comes under developers as well as the services, right? So in this case, you can, I mean, if you see, let's go with the SQL database. So SQL database, we know like you can store the data. It's SQL. There are different flavor of this SQL database, but in a whole, you can store data and, manage data. There is secure database system, right? And you have AI and machine learning system, cognitive service, Internet of Things, right? What Internet of Things is nothing but like if there is a sensor, for example, there is a camera installed in a traffic light, right? So it keep collecting all these pictures of any car violating those rules, right? So those pictures and keep coming, those signals and those events keep coming to your cloud system. So whoever is working on those areas, they can use this Internet of Things feature, right? So now, and other thing is cloud security. Security is almost, I mean, utmost required. Hosting, if you have a website, you want to host it like your, like other hosting sites, right? You can host your own blogs, own websites. Migration, as you say, like migrating from your local to cloud, or one cloud to another cloud, right? AWS to Azure, Azure to AWS, or Google Cloud, like that. Disaster recovery, I talk about the one point called what if we are, losing the data, your data, your hard disk corrupted.
Hi. Hi,
Yeah.
Sudhir.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you. We are
Mhm.
actually running out of time, so we will take another 5 to 10 minutes. Please hand over to me.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that there are a lot of
There
topic
are a lot of
available.
things. Yeah. I just
Yeah, so
make
we
sure
cannot.
like people are understanding.
So we'll make it short,
Concise. Yeah.
and please hand over me so that I can showcase something, and we'll end this session.
Perfect.
Okay. So
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
I'm taking the
So
control. Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So yeah. So we saw like this how the AI is also evolving and all these things. There are a lot of, I mean, after this, I mean, just go to the Microsoft website and try to crawl through wherever you want. Okay, you will find lots of information, and that's where I am trying to make you aware like how the Azure system is getting evolved. Right, once you'll get into the system and try understand the Azure, then just think like what are the different areas you have exposure, right? So that's where you can be. So I'm trying to show you like how Azure is also growing and how the growth is like an exponential growth ideally. And you see, I show you, right? So if this is whole pie, the whole pie is the market share of the cloud. So of course, AWS has the highest market share. AWS, I mean, Google Cloud has very less, but Azure has the 18%. But still there are blue area you see, like still there are these areas they are still trying to acquire. So now the faster pace Azure is heading towards, it might acquire this most of this particular blue area, right? So that's how it is. And I'm trying to telling you like, okay, what is the how important the Azure at this point of time is, right? Of course, AWS is always there in the market leader, right? So those are things. So top 5 reasons why you should go for any cloud computing is like faster growing, uh, and you stay always ahead of the crowd, right? As I said, like you are always adding new tech stack to your resume, and you have a specialized tech stack in your resume, and secure your career opportunity and job in numerous sectors. As I say, like if at this point of time you only able to apply 10% of the job, once you'll take any cloud course, you'll be able to get more and more, right, and able to apply most of things. So average cloud career, how the salary is really going when you are cloud, it's really spiking your salary in the market, right? And it always takes a different area altogether. So the cloud, I mean, it's just for the information, like I want to share you like it's not about some you are investing on you, right? A smaller amount of chunk of amount, but you are trying to grab more and more from the market if you are exposure to those areas, right? So doesn't matter which cloud it is, right? I am telling about the cloud in general, right? How those no, technologies are really evolving and how the market is looking for, right? So cloud career path, how it's really looks like, I'm just showing one path, like some Linux fundamental or Windows, because you already using those programming's required, not required, doesn't matter. Nowadays most of the things are no code. Okay, if you know some code, that is well and good. If don't know also, that's also good. Okay, you can able to really develop the thing in Azure, right? And database, I mean, everyone knows database, but anyway, we are going to learn those things. Cloud platform, Azure cloud platform is the one, and AI is the one. It's right. So nowadays everyone is AI, so very basic AI will help. And the cloud automation tools, what are the different automation tools you can use, and the container and containerization and management, right? How you can easily ship your code or easily ship the application from one point to another point. So those are the things you want to understand. Then you are ready to go for the market, right? So you can sell yourself uh, in the market. Okay, now you are the cloud engineer itself, right? So for this course, how you can really pump yourself, right? So the AG 900, to certify the Azure developer, you have to have AG 900. But whatever the path you are going to choose, like the whole thing we are covering here, right? You might, if you are going somewhere else, I mean, wherever you are taking the course here or somewhere else, you might take, you might have to take this AG 900, a different course as a different course, AG 204 as a different course. But here we are combining this with very minimal, minimal fees, right? So those are the things, I mean, we are covering here. And we always, you will able to, end of the day, you will able to, certify yourself for this Azure cloud. Okay, so these are the levels. I mean, you can make a fundamental level certification, associate level certification, expert level, right? So what our soft chip is, covering, our soft chip is covering these two, fundamental level and the associate level, but not all. Okay, as I said, like specific to 204, right? There are different areas, cloud security, I mean, Azure security, Azure administrator. We are not going to that. We are only going for the Azure developer. Okay, so that's where we are looking for. So I mean, go through that. Okay, and go through the website, and we'll see, like, if anything, talk to us. I mean, if you need any help or if you have any doubt, and we'll clarify those things, right? And I've given you what is Azure used for. We already discussed about, like, is the cloud system used for all cloud analytics, cloud services, cloud computing, all these things, right? And is Azure is the same as SQL? No, definitely not. SQL is one part of Azure, right? But Azure is as a whole is a cloud provider. I mean, a cloud platform where you can find database, storage, applications, building the applications, integrations, security, all these things, not only the SQL, right? And is Azure is a programming language. So it's generally, no, I mean, it's not a Azure, is not a programming language. It's a cloud platform, right? You can use programming language to develop applications on top of Azure. Okay, Azure Cloud Platform. So that's how it is, right? So these are the frequent asked questions people are really asking, coming from non-cloud background to cloud. So is Azure is a Python, right? Can you build things, I mean, on Azure with Python? Yes, you can. Always you can do that, right? So that's, there is no language barrier, and you can always use that, right? Those Python language itself, or Node.js, or any other applications which is supported by cloud, I mean, Azure cloud, right? And can I learn Azure without coding? This is what your answer is, right? You don't need coding skill to use Microsoft Azure. And exactly, if you're coming from the background of, no code, like our, Dynamics 365 or something like that, so you are totally good to go, right? I mean, I insist, like, if you have some coding, uh, coding capability, you can always do that to make it better. Okay, so language is Azure build on. So Azure always, Microsoft is always built on the C#.NET, right? So there is no, confusion on that. So yeah. So yeah, it's I mean, this is how I want to make sure, like, what exactly the Azure is and how it will help you in long run. And our, motto, we want to make sure, like, we, whenever we are taking, taking the session, we make sure we are, we are concentrating on the, and focusing on the matter, and the, confidence about what we are learning. And we have to be consistent. Every day we are practicing, and we are, we are going through the videos. Yeah. So thank you so much, folks. And yeah, Sanjay, please take it up.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. I will just focus on one point. Let me share my screen before winding. I will take just 5 minutes, not more than that, because Sudhir has already explained so many things, and I don't think there is an end, or we have no confined topic in Azure, but we have to find out, and specifically designed for our career. So let me share my screen. Okay, so let me yeah. Okay, now I hope you can see my screen. And in these days, everyone is talking about cloud, right? Now, cloud means, as he already discussed, there are many clouds available, but we are focusing on only Azure. And my motto is, don't just learn Azure, because people out there in the market already know Azure, but did they master it? I don't think they master it. So this is our intention, that you master that what you are learning. And especially cloud is booming. That's why you have to master it, not just to learn and work in projects. Because to be more confident, you need more use cases, right? Practical use cases. Otherwise, you cannot deliver in time, or proper solution. You cannot deliver proper solution. To achieve something, you might have multiple solutions, isn't it? In our Power Platform or Azure or whatever technology you can think about, to achieve a specific business use case, there are multiple solutions. But how to identify the better one which will not break in long run if there is a requirement change? That's where you are learning this thing. Okay, so mastering a product means you know in and out of the concept. Now, this is a collaboration effort with Sudhir, who is a solution cloud expert in Azure, and he has conducted so many training sessions, live training sessions, and currently working in USA. And we have collaborated with him, because I cannot teach everything also, because if something is taught by someone who is expert in that area, then you will learn more better, right? That's why we have collaborated with Sudhir. And these things, why we use Azure is nothing to discuss right now, because he explained elaborately. I will not focus on this because we have short of time. Just I want to discuss about Azure roles. When you get a job in Azure, or if you are working in a Dynamics or Power Platform, just I'm telling you, in Microsoft Azure, there are many job roles like being a solution architect, administrator, developer, and so on, DevOps engineers. So there are separate roles available, but we are focusing only the development part, okay? Because cloud is a C, if you understand, okay? That's why the name given cloud. You cannot cover everything, okay? And that's why we focused on this Azure developer. The third point, this is the syllabus that we need to cover. If you are from Dynamics background or Power Platform background, learning this Azure developer will boost your career. I'm telling you why it will boost in my last slide, and how it will give you wing to fly in multiple, multiple skills we having in multiple MNCs, and how it will impact your salary. That we will also discuss in brief. But these are the roles available in Azure area, and we are focusing on Azure developer. If you want to switch your career to Azure completely from Dynamics or Power Platform, you are welcome after this training. If you want to be in Dynamics space only also, it will give you more credibility in your job as comparison to other. That is what my plan. We are planning also DevOps and Azure AI very soon, because it is very necessary. So I'll skip these slides because already elaboratively he explained, and I'll just focus on the job and market. Okay. So in job market, as we already taken forecast, people are looking for supermans. Okay. People means the employers. Employer are very interested to hire supermans who can do everything, which is practically impossible. But people are expecting this. That means we need to we need to be more expert on those areas which are actually required in our projects as a cross technology. For example, if you're a Dynamics developer, sometimes we use Azure function. That means Azure function is a cross technology for us, isn't it? You don't need to master it, but if you already master it, then you are more credible, right? So right now we are planning to make our profile as a full stack cloud developer. We know Power Platform, we know Dynamics, and if we know Azure, then nobody can beat us, right? So once you know Azure, now you will be treated as a full stack cloud developer, right? And you will get more credibility in the market. Azure is a giant you can think of, like, okay, we have already experienced 20 years experience in this area, but Azure is giant. Okay, next, so we made our profile as a full stack cloud developer after this course. Then broader job roles. If there is a less project in your current company and there is a laid off, unfortunately, you can switch your career immediately as your development skill, as your developer role or something, right? So when you have multiple options, that's why I'm telling you in these days, multiple earning is also necessary, isn't it? When you focus on your job just for your salary you are getting per month, it is not sufficient. You have to get your passive incomes. You have to get ready for switching immediate jobs if there is any problem in the market, right? Recession issues, I am telling you. Okay, so when you are in a IT industry, you are always, your job is always unsafe, and I'm also part of them, right? So always make yourself self upskilled every day, and that is what can save your job if you are doing job in a long run. So next is broader job role. You will get more skills on cloud so that you can switch immediately from one cloud to another cloud. I mean, inside that cloud, one technology to another technology. Like if you are a Power Platform consultant right now, you can switch to Azure. If you are in Azure, you can switch to Dynamics and so on. And it has increased demand. Currently, cloud application is very much adopted by most of the companies, and they are aggressively moving. So this is the right time to hit the button. Okay. So career wise and job market wise, it is very demand. And if you don't think this is the not right time to learn Azure, then you are wrong. I recommend learn this right now. Take time. Next is, I don't want to go in this topic-based things because he already explained. I'll focus on some use cases for Power Platform developers who are joined now. Sometimes Power Platform developers uh, get many requirements who are related to Azure. For example, custom API integrations, advanced automations like Azure Logic App. Sometimes Power Platform is limited. When we use Power Automate in Power Platform, because of some limitation, we move to Azure Logic App. We move to say, asynchronous integrations. Then you need mastering Azure Logic App and Service Bus means you are one step more than others. So because of some limitations of Power Platform, we use Azure services which are more scalable. And that's you need to learn in this course. Cognitive services, AI, Azure function, we are very frequently used in Power Platform projects, right? So these are some use cases just to showcase. I don't want to go in depth right now. And what Azure skills we need as a Power Platform developer. Thinking that some of the candidates who are joined in this training are from Power Platform, just I am focusing this. Being a Power Platform developer, what skills you need in Azure? First is Azure function. Okay, most of the times we use in our project. Azure Service Bus, the asynchronous messaging service, scalable messaging service available in Azure. We use API management services, Azure Vault to store sensitive secrets, right? Azure Active Directory, mostly used the authentication process. Logic App, frequently used in Power Platform. So these are very much necessary skills which we need as a Power Platform developer also. Plus, for Azure developer role also, it is very necessary. That's why it is a curated certification course that will give you the more credibility to be a full stack cloud engineer. Now, the last conclusion I will tell you, and I will end this session, that learning Azure will open up a door to multiple areas of job vacancies. That is the motto. And also, upskilling on Azure means you are mastering in and out of the Power Platform, Dynamics, and Office 365, Microsoft 365 also. Okay, so in a ecosystem, you understand the entire ecosystem means you are strong in that skill. Okay, that is what we planned, and right now you understand the entire scope, learning path, everything. You decide and let us know if you want to continue with the entire 2 months journey, and we will schedule your joining and book your seat, and you will continue from tomorrow. So there will be no demo session from tomorrow onwards. We will jump to that subject matter from tomorrow onwards. Same timing will be there, 7 to 8. Okay, so any questions, guys?
One question from my side. Hi, this is Ashish Dev.
Yeah, hi, yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So basically, when we, do practices in Azure portal, so as you know, like there is a limitation, right? So for trial instance, we actually have 30 days trial period. So there will be any, any portal available from your side, or do we need to register the trial instance from our side? So, just to
You
do
have
practices.
at present, I can tell you, you have to take your trial instance. If something is not possible in your trial instance, we can allow
Mhm.
that component, that resource to be created in our environment for practice.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we will not give a entire subscription for you for entire training.
Mhm.
But if something is not possible in your trial, we will give our environment for practice. Okay, that's all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi Sanjay, Jaisima
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Good.
So Sanjay, like I just wanted to know, like the use cases you said, like you'll be using the real-time one. So, is it of up to a level where we can explain to the when in the interview as well, like we can explain the real-time project what we have worked on, like or it is just normal kind of projects, or it is industry oriented, how it is?
No, we will take some practical use cases so that you can explain interviewer.
Okay.
Most of the times I have seen practically from students
Yeah.
that they know the concept but they cannot explain it to interviewer. It is a very pain point that they know but they cannot explain. That's why this program is curated, that we will give some practical use cases so that you can explain others for
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
so
reason
that is our
because like
purpose.
in a lot of the other YouTube videos and all, like there'll be a content, but other trainings they won't be proper use cases, real time use
That's
cases
right.
I can explain. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Better use cases, practical use cases, which are real world business use cases, is very important because it is
Okay.
effective to learn. So we are focusing on that only.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes it's, what it helps is like when you really understand the, core of the components. Let's, for example, I always, give the example of the cooking, right? Any recipe. So you know what coriander is doing, right? You know what cinnamon is doing, and you know what black pepper, where we can use black pepper, and what the red pepper is used for, right?
Yeah.
Now make some recipe for me. I have given you this ingredients. It's easy.
Mhm.
It's up to you how you are making a story around that, right? So
Yeah.
that's where the interview want to hear about, because
Yeah.
they want, okay, these are the components available. How the candidate can really leverage those components to make a whole product, right? Any kind of
Yeah.
product. It doesn't matter, right? Whatever I will explain, it might not work in the production, right? But
Yeah.
it will give a sense like, okay, even if there are 100 of no, services, 90 services the candidate are able to connect each other, right? So
Okay.
that's where they really need. How can you make a ecosystem? And another thing, always keep in mind, as I said in the slide, there are a lot of services. For every category there are alternatives, right?
Okay.
So which one you want to use? That is the trickier question, what you will fall into trap in the
Okay.
interview, right? That
Got it.
that that we can discuss. For example, you are coming from a database background, right? So you can you can think of like, okay, this database has these pros and cons, this database has these pros and cons, so my use case is this, what is the best one? Let's, for example, you are keep writing some of the files, right, but reading very less.
Yeah.
In that use case, you think of in that scenario, right? So those
Hmm.
are the things. When it comes to the actual concept, we can discuss those things.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so it is time to wind up. If you guys are interested, let us know. Tomorrow we will start with the subject matter. Thank you, Sudhir, for a magnificent session, and thank you everyone joined.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.